These are a planetary system of 8 planets and various secondary bodies, dwarf planets and small solar system objects that orbit the Sun directly, as well as satellites that orbit many planets and smaller objects. The Solar System formed 4.6 billion years ago from the gravitational collapse of a giant molecular cloud. The vast majority of the system's mass is in the Sun, with most of the remaining mass contained in Jupiter. The 4 smaller inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, also called the terrestrial planets, are primarily composed of rock and metal. The 4 outer planets, called the gas giants, are substantially more massive than the terrestrials. The 2 largest, Jupiter and Saturn, are composed mainly of hydrogen and helium. The 2 outermost planets, Uranus and Neptune, are composed largely of substances with relatively high melting points called ices, such as water, ammonia and methane, and are often referred to separately as ice giants. All planets have almost circular orbits that lie within a nearly flat disk called the ecliptic plane. The Solar System also contains regions populated by smaller objects. The asteroid belt, which lies between Mars and Jupiter, mostly contains objects composed, like the terrestrial planets, of rock and metal. Beyond Neptune's orbit lie the Kuiper belt and scattered disk, linked populations of trans-Neptunian objects composed mostly of ices. Within these populations are several dozen to more than 10,000 objects that may be large enough to have been rounded by their own gravity. Such objects are referred to as dwarf planets. Identified dwarf planets include the asteroid series and the trans-Neptunian objects Pluto and Eris. In addition to these 2 regions, various other small body populations including comets, centaurs and interplanetary dust freely travel between regions. 6 of the planets, at least 3 of the dwarf planets, and many of the smaller bodies are orbited by natural satellites, usually termed moons, after Earth's moon. Each of the outer planets is encircled by planetary rings of dust and other small objects. The solar wind, a flow of plasma from the Sun, creates a bubble in the interstellar medium known as the heliosphere, which extends out to the edge of the scattered disk. The Oort cloud, which is believed to be the source for long-period comets, may also exist at a distance roughly 1,000 times further than the heliosphere. The heliopowers is the point at which pressure from the solar wind is equal to the opposing pressure of interstellar wind. The Solar System is located within one of the outer arms of the Milky Way, which contains about 200 billion stars.